I'm Julie Barkey with this Senate update. There are 5 days remaining this legislative session, and House and Senate leadership continue to negotiate with Governor Mark Dayton on a global budget agreement. Senator Nienow offered a motion on the Senate floor on Wednesday that would continue to fund government in the event of a shutdown.
This motion will pull the bill up and put it on the general orders. This is not a vote on the bill itself. We are not voting to support or oppose the bill. We are voting to put the bill on general orders so that in the event that we need to vote on this, the majority leader can special order it and we can pull it up, send it to the House, they can pass it, and we can keep government running. Most of the members probably recall a couple of years ago when we did not get budgets enacted before the end of the regular session, and the governor did not call us back into special session, which ended up in a somewhat lengthy shutdown. Had a provision such as this been passed and in place, we would have avoided that. Madam President, to Senator Peterson's questions, I can answer those because I had a conversation with Majority Leader Bach just the other day in the retiring room. What Majority Leader Bach told me he was told is that omnibus bills take about a day. To get put together. Once the conference committee gets done, they send it over to the revisor's office. They do all the process that they do. It takes about a day. For the big bills, for the large bills, it takes them about 2 days. Now, as I've been wont to do this year, Madam President, I'm going to do a little math for the members here on the floor. We have right now 9 budget conference committees that are meeting. Well, actually, they're not meeting, but they're ready to meet and do the work once we have leadership agreement on targets. 9 of them. The most that staff can work on at any given time is 3 bills. That's all they have staff for. So you've got 9 bills, some of which take a full day, several of which take 2 full days. Today is Wednesday. We have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We don't even have targets yet. The conference committees aren't meeting. Why? Because they can't do anything without a budget target. We might get targets tonight. We might get targets tomorrow. We might get targets Friday, or we might not. Time is running out. All this motion is asking is give us another tool in the toolbox in the event that the clock starts to run out and we just don't have time to get the budgets enacted before the clock strikes midnight Monday night. I would urge a green vote. Thank you, Madam President.
Senator Peterson, Jay.
Thank you, Madam President. Would Senator Sieben yield?
She will yield. Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam President. And Senator Sieben, and looking at our directory here, I see you're the Assistant Majority Leader. And I'm reading from the Star Tribune article this morning, and I quote, it says, Bach said he'd seen polling data that would place blame for a shutdown on Republicans, but said it's not his intention. Senator Sieben, have you seen polling data that would tell you the same thing?
Senator Sieben.
Madam President, Senator Peterson, I have not seen that polling data that you're referencing, nor do I think it's especially appropriate to comment on polling data on the Senate floor. But no, I have not seen that polling data myself.
Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam President. Would Senator Hayden yield?
Senator Hayden. Will Senator Hayden yield? Senator Hayden, will you yield? He will yield. Senator Peterson, Jay.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, Senator Bach is not on the floor, and Senator Sieben's a leader in your caucus, and I see Senator Hayden also is a deputy majority leader. Senator Hayden, have you seen any of the polling data that Senator Bach is referencing in the Star Tribune article this morning that appears to blame Republicans for a shutdown?
Senator Hayden.
Well, thank you, Madam President, and Senator Peterson. No, I haven't seen any of the polling data that the Star and Tribune is referencing to the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Would
Senator Peterson.
Would Senator Eaton yield?
Senator Eaton, she will yield. Senator Peterson J.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Eaton, I see you're the majority whip, and according to our directory, I guess the third leader in line with the absence of the majority leader. Senator Eaton, have you seen any of the polling data that references Republicans will be blamed for a shutdown?
Senator Eaton.
I have not seen any polling data.
Thank you,
Senator
Madam
Peterson. All right, Senator Osmek.
Thank you, Madam President. We've glossed over Section 1 of this bill. Not only would we be maintaining the operations of the state of Minnesota if we don't get our jobs done, Madam President, we also aren't going to be paid as legislators if we don't get our job done. I think people at home need to know that not only are we going to maintain the operations of the Senate and or of the state of Minnesota, we as legislators, if we can't get our job done on time, are not going to be paid. This is a very rational bill. It also incentivizes us to get our job done, and I think people at home need to know that. Thank you.
Okay, members, we are discussing whether we should pull the bill out of committee today. Senator Ingebrigtsen.
Thank you, Madam President. Would Senator Sieben yield for a couple of questions, please?
She will yield. Senator Ingebrigtsen.
Thank you, Madam President. I do remember the shutdown a couple of years, 3 years back, I believe, and some of the things that were very concerned. We also have this inner circle of real big business that we do here, and a very important business. And as soon as the shutdown hit, I want to remind folks what the number 1 and 2 issues were on the people's mind. So, Senator Sieben, do you know for sure if the state parks will be closed if we go to a shutdown?
Madam President?
Senator Hayton, for what purpose does the gentleman rise?
I rise for a point of order. Can I ask
State
you
your point.
what motion and what business is in front of the Senate?
Before the Senate is the Nienow motion to pull Senate Bill 2144 from the Committee on State and Local Government, give it its second reading, and place it on general orders.
So, Madam President, I appreciate the minority party's inquiry into what the future may look like and what the past was, but I don't think that the line of questioning that we are going down is germane to the motion that is in front of us.
The point of order is well taken. As I mentioned before, please direct your comments to the motion in front of us.
Okay. Madam President.
Senator Ingebrigtsen.
Then I just have some comments. Madam President, I just wanted to hit home as to how serious this is to the folks out there that may be listening or paying attention. And there's been some real good points brought forward, but some of the things that were brought to my attention were this very issue of shutting the state parks down. We were involved in that. We were also involved in the wayside rest areas. We all know that by the time I even got home that evening that the barricades were put up and the truckers that were traveling through our areas and travelers couldn't even pull off. We also had a real big issue, which wasn't a real big issue to me, but it is to the retailers, where beer licenses couldn't be sold. So this is what we're looking at, folks, when we're sitting around here about 4 or 5 days now from closure, from the final day. These are the types of complaints that folks out in the state of Minnesota are concerned about. And of course, we're now doing some polling on KSTP. We're talking about polling today. I think it's KSTP about who can find the biggest pothole out there. Please send us a picture. Potholes last time, as you remember, were the number 1 issue. This is how serious this is, folks. And I'm assuming that Senator Bach is not here because he's negotiating right now with the governor and the majority leader over in the House. I can only assume that.
On the motion to pull Senate Bill 2144 out of the committee, is there any more discussion on that motion? Senator Kiffmeyer.
Thank you, Madam President. I support this motion very strongly. We have a duty to protect the public and to put our business in order here by bringing this bill up and placing it on general orders. We put ourselves in a situation and in a circumstance to protect the public. While we are going through the discussions and the debates, if we do not come to an agreement, it is our duty to protect the public and allow them to keep doing their business. By passing this motion, we do exactly that and make sure that we have things in place in case it is needed. So I support this, put it on the general orders so that if it is needed, we can take quick action to protect the public.
On the motion before us, all those, Senator Latz.
Madam President, there seems to be
Roll
some
call requested. Roll call granted. Senator Latz.
There seems to be some discussion that there is an absolute urgency to get this teed up today and on the general orders. And I just want to remind members that we have the luxury, if we need it, on Monday, if we ever get to that point, we can pull it out of committee if it's the desire of this body to do so, and to put it on general orders on Monday and bring it up for a vote on Monday. So it doesn't take too long to put a golf ball on the tee.
Seeing no further discussion. Senator Westrom.
Well, Madam President, members, Senator Latz, we have got a lot on the tee already for Monday because the negotiations aren't moving along, and Lord willing, a few of the bills will have targets and be concluded. We'll have a lot to do Monday going through potentially all the omnibus bills, and so we have more time today to deal with this and put a provision and a backstop in place to guard against a government shutdown, which is what the Republicans are trying to help guard against by passing this. What you're seeing is DFL opposition to trying to set something in place to guard against a government shutdown. And so, Senator Latz, I would respectfully disagree that we want to wait till Monday to put this golf ball on the tee. We've got a lot waiting to do on Monday the way it's teeing up right now.
Senator Sanchim.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, members, I think we all understand the chemistry of this place. I am not sure, even as we stand here today, that we can get our work done before the appointed deadline. I wouldn't bet $10 on it. Be quite frank with you, because we're at a crisis here, I think. And Madam President, would Senator Sieben yield?
Senator Sieben will yield. Senator Sanchim.
Senator Sieben, thank you for yielding. This is just a kind of a what if, a backstop, if you will. There is absolutely nothing wrong with us passing this at least initiative forward and placing this bill at least on general orders. I think it sends a good signal to the public. And I would offer, and for those of us that have been here for a little while, I remember Senator Cohen, I don't know if he's in the room or not, but Senator Cohen advocated strongly for a lights on bill a couple of years ago, and it was all okay then, but somehow it's not okay today. I understand views and perspectives can change, but I think we're all in this together, and to bring this to the floor today, at least put it on general orders, I think a totally appropriate thing to do. It sends a good message to the public, and I would certainly urge a green vote on this motion.
Seeing no further discussion. Senator Sharon.
I know that we probably should move to a vote, but I just don't like to leave the framing of this discussion in the form that doesn't fit with what my vote is about. I think that there's plenty of time to take up this proposal. I think we adequately have time on Monday to do this. And what the message is that this sends, what I'm taking away from this pressure from my colleagues on the Republican side is that they just are giving up and are communicating to the DFL side that they do not believe that they will be able to come to the table and resolve the differences in the budget. And that really concerns me that we're taking on that position with this vote at this time. It's way too early from the DFL's perspective to even subtly communicate that with this vote. So I urge a no vote, because the message that I want to communicate is that the DFL continues to be very interested in coming to a resolution before the end of session.
Senator Han.
Thank you, Madam President. I just feel compelled to respond. I think part of the reason why we felt it was important to bring this up today, if people believe that we are not going to need it, it doesn't do any harm to get this bill put on general orders. But it was concerning when we read in the paper Senator Bach talking about polling that says, well, polling says the Republicans are going to get blamed if we have a shutdown. I haven't seen any polling on that. I don't think anybody's done any polling. I think that was DFL party polling. Why would they be polling that question? I think they're testing this out as a strategy for negotiation, and we want to send a very clear message that this body We're not interested in that. We're interested in getting this done. Let's get something ready so that if we need it, we have it. So to Senator Sharon's comment, I think it's pretty clear that to me and to the rest of us on our side that the DFL strategy is to drive into a shutdown because Republicans get blamed. We want to make it very clear that that's not what we're here for. We're here to get the people's work done.
Senator Sharon.
Thank you for the opportunity to respond. There may be some concerns about a statement that was made in the press that people want some response to, but that's not what this is. That's not what the motion is on the table. This is about sending a message to the public that we anticipate a shutdown, and that I hear from the Republicans by wanting to press this now rather than waiting to see if it's really necessary to communicate to the public that you have despaired in your ability to come to the table and negotiate on the final budget resolution. The DFL is not ready to communicate such a message. We believe we have the capacity and the desire and the ability to come to a resolution on the budget before the end of session.
Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam President, Senator Sharon, and Senator members. I do have to disagree with your statements, and I'll use transportation as an example, members. The Transportation Conference Committee has been meeting quite regularly, and I can read you some of the last agendas here. Just yesterday they met and discussed the Metropolitan Council procurements. They talked about public-private partnerships. They talked about transportation cost share. The previous meeting dealt with various bills that did not really relate to any of the funding. The previous conference committee before that dealt with walkthroughs of the side-by-side. So, members, I think you can understand what I'm saying. If there was one issue that all Minnesotans can agree on this legislative session, it was transportation. Well, members, we've had a majority leader that said we could live without a transportation bill this year. And I'll tell you, most of the 5 million Minnesotans couldn't disagree with the Senate majority leader at all. They disagree with them. Members, we need a transportation funding bill, and it's not getting done. In fact, I just showed you the conference committee has not even talked about how to fund that transportation bill. Members, time is short, and we're trying to point out to Minnesotans and to the majority that, members, the time for that agreement is now. We have to allow ample time. We all know that the majority cannot limit the debate of the minority. Members, we simply don't, the time is growing short, and we do not have the time, in my opinion, to finish many of these bills that are being delayed. The time is for that solution and for that agreement now. Members, I would encourage you to support this amendment. It ensures that the state of Minnesota will not shut down. If you're concerned about that, I would encourage you to support the Nienow amendment.
Senator Stump.
Thank you, Madam President. I would just suggest that there are a lot of political ideas out there, and that some of them are, I think, getting closer and closer to where we're going to end up. One of them, I don't know if you read the article from Doug Groh, talked about how this session is going to end. And it basically lays out a format, I think, on how this session can come together. And I realize that we've got varying parties in this negotiation, but I think some of the ideas, if you go to MinPost and read that article, he lays out how the different pieces are going to come together. And his ending comment is something like, none of us are actually going to be satisfied with those final numbers. And that's probably right, because our expectations are quite high in some areas. But I think all of us should think about, how do we come away from this all being winners in some way? And that's the difficult part. And it's that trying to figure out how you can give something up that you really want and get something that you really can get. And I think my advice to not only our leader, but all the leaders and parties that are trying to negotiate this out is to be sure to read that article. It talks about the different areas, the big areas such as education and health and human services. It talks about transportation. And there's things that many of us on our side would like that we're not going to get. And I think there's same is true on the other parties as well. So I would say we still have time, and that if we pull this together in the next day or so, we can come away. We're going to have to swallow hard in many cases, but I think we can come away with getting this all done before the end of the session.
Senator Sharon. Okay. Is there any more discussion? Senator Pratt.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you. Madam President, I hope Senator Stumpf is right, and I hope we do have a pathway to finishing the session. But if you look at what analysts are saying, the governor is following the same strategy that he used in 2011. And where did that lead us? This motion is needed because it tells the people of Minnesota that the Senate and the legislature will be ready to handle the eventuality of a potential government shutdown. If you read the governor's own statements, he seems to be moving farther away from both the House and the Senate positions. And that doesn't give me very much comfort, members. The governor is already calling Republicans intransigent, and yet it's his positions that are being held firm. He seems to be digging in his heels. And members, this motion will send a message to the governor's office that this legislature will not be bullied into a bad deal. We need to stand up. We need to stay as a co-equal branch of government and not let him drive these decisions. And so we need to show the people of Minnesota that we're willing to take proactive action, that we are not going to be doing this at the last minute and hoping that the governor signs it. We're sending a message that we want these negotiations done, and we want the governor to negotiate in good faith.
Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam President and members. Senator Stumpf, I did take your advice. I found that article that was posted about 11 o'clock this morning. I hope the governor hasn't seen it. I hope Speaker Dowd has not seen it. I hope Senator Bach has not seen it, because they're supposed to be working on setting these budget targets. But Senator Stump, Madam President, would Senator Stump yield?
Senator Stump will yield. Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Stump, one of the headings in Mr. Groh's article, the journalist that you say has presented the solution to the end of the session, and I hope, boy, I hope our majority leaders and the governor read this article soon. But one of the headings is, Hello Bonding Bill. You know, Senator Stump, do you feel like you have enough time to build a bonding bill that's going to earn two-thirds support of the Senate body?
Senator Hayden.
Madam President, I rise for a point of order. I'd like to know what business is in front of the body.
Thank you for reminding us, Senator Hayden. We've had discussion far afield of the motion before us. So let's get back to the motion about whether we should pull Senate Bill 2144 from the Committee on State and Local Government. Senator Westrom, for what purpose does the gentleman rise?
Madam President, I rise to a parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Madam President, my understanding is when a point of order has been raised, they are supposed to cite the rule or part of Mason's that's being violated. Is that correct or not?
That's correct. I think more properly it might have been Senator Hayden, might have been a point of inquiry.
Madam President, thank
Senator
you for
Westrom.
that advice. I didn't hear Senator Hayden refer to any rule.
He could be looking for one now. Senator Peterson, in the meantime.
Thank you, Madam President. Just in response to Senator Hayden's concern, I would just remind members I was responding to a solution that was brought up by one of the committee chairs on the floor, referencing that we have a journalist here that has laid out a map and a solution for the end of session, which questions if there's going to be a bonding bill. And my question for the chair of the bonding committee is that simply if we have enough time.
Excuse me, Senator Hayden, for what purpose does the gentleman rise?
Well, thank you, Madam President. I rise now for a point of order. Madam President, I am looking at Mason's section 101 that says that the debate is limited to the questions before the body. And so with that, also, Madam President, there's Mason section 102 says a member has a right to only speak once on a question. And so, Madam President, I appreciate once again, the history lesson and the points of inquiry of members in terms of how their conference committees are going and what the timing is. However, it does appear that we are not in our rules relative to the question that's before the body.
Thank you, Senator Hayden, for pointing out the section in Mason's. It has usually been our custom to try to restrict our debate to the motion that is before the body. So once again, I think your point of order is well taken. Senator Peterson, please try to restrict your comments. And members, now I've let we've ranged kind of far afield. Now let's bring it back now to the motion before the body.
Thank you, Madam President. Would Senator Stump yield?
Senator Stump will yield.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Stump, do you feel like you have enough time to build a bonding bill that would earn 2/3 support of the Senate?
Senator Peterson, that's not the motion before the body is whether Senate File 2144 should be withdrawn from the Committee on State and Local Government, given a second reading, and placed on general orders. Please restrict your questions to that motion.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. Members, I think the folks that I happen to serve in central Minnesota, do think it's a relevant question simply because Senator Stump brought it up as a solution to why we should not be supporting Senator Nienow's motion. Senator Nienow's motion gives every member in this body the chance to keep the state of Minnesota's government from shutting down if they would pass it off, bring it to the floor today with Senator Nienow's motion. Of course, we have members in the chamber that are saying that that's not necessary because we have time to do the work yet that the Minnesotans are expecting us to do. One of the solutions that Senator on this floor raised is that there's a journalist that has laid out a solution for these negotiations in the final days. And one of the headings in his article clearly says a bonding bill is going to be part of the solution. So the question I was asking was responding to what the chairman of the Capital Investment Committee raised, if he has time to build a bonding bill that's going to earn the support of a large percentage of this body.